Hi,
Hello.
welcome to So You Think You're Iconic, the haunted podcast.
Yes, we are now changing genres.
Yeah,
We're going to do scary haunted stuff, the
yeah,
things that I absolutely don't even watch because
yeah,
I can't handle it.
yeah. We're spooky season all the time here now.
Absolutely.
I love it for us. How was your week, Kelly?
It was pretty good. I found out that I have a job now.
Woohoo!
Woohoo. My first day is to
Funny.
like my first quote unquote first day is tomorrow. We're gonna figure out like scheduling and stuff like that. Hopefully I stay a while because this is kind of like temporary. So
Yeah.
yeah, I
I mean,
also
I'm doing a temporary job,
yeah,
so like
yeah,
whatever gets money into my bank account.
exactly. I also tweaked my lower back.
Hmm.
I tripped on something on Saturday.
Is this going to be a weekly thing?
I really hope
Are we
not.
gonna have a new "What's Hurting on Kelly's Body" this week
I really
segment
hope not
on
because
this podcast now?
it sucks. I'm constantly wearing a back brace. I'm filming in a different location than usual because I need a chair to sit in. I can't sit on the floor for a long time anymore.
I like it. It's a nice change of scenery for me.
Right, right. But that's me. Oh, I did a lot of things today, but just like cleaning and stuff. That's eh.
What everyone wants to hear about the minute details of cleaning,
Of course they do. That's why they come to this podcast.
but they don't get that this week. As for me, um, it was pretty boring.
Oh,
One day it was so slow at work that I watched a movie.
oh yeah.
Mm. Which, by the way, that movie was awful, and we need to watch it for this podcast.
What's it called?
It's called DOA.
DOA.
Yep, we need to
Dead on
watch it.
arrival?
Sure. I don't know.
Okay.
It
Because
was it
that's
was a
that's the acronym.
it was a free movie on YouTube.
Mm.
It was like Mortal Kombat but worse. Yes.
Mortal Kombat.
Yes, it was exactly like the premise of Mortal Kombat except without the
Oh,
like space people thingy. But
okay.
yeah, it was bad. We need to watch it. Yeah, and then yesterday I went to the lake with Sabrina. It was nice. It like wasn't too hot, wasn't too cold. We had no idea where to go. So
Oh,
we so we literally just parked on the side of a mountain, climbed down the mountain, and then
I
made it
mean,
made it to the lake.
yeah, that's kind of how you have to do it when you're
Um
going when you're going to that lake.
yeah, the water felt nice. Yeah, I'm probably never going to go to that lake again. The water felt nice.
That's fair.
There wasn't really anywhere to like put chairs and stuff. So I just
Mm-mm.
yeah. Went in the water, felt great. It smelled terrible. Like
I don't remember what it smells like
like
there.
let
It's
me
been a
tell
while.
you, when I came home and like I could like smell myself, like I didn't have a mask on or anything, I
Mm.
smelled awful.
Mm.
I immediately threw everything I was wearing into the wash. I was like, no, this is terrible. And then I scrubbed every piece of skin on my body. I washed my hair and my hair didn't even get wet. I was like, I'm washing everything. It was bad because like the bottom of the lake is like mud.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
And like when you like step on it, it like sucks your foot in and then
Yeah.
you're like stuck. It was bad. Never going to that lake again. I know some much better lakes, going to those instead. But yeah, I'm just going to wait this week to hear whether or not I got this job. So
Oh yeah. It's
yay.
it's time. It's that time, isn't it?
It's that time. No, I'm gonna be stressed for the entire week.
God, I hope you get it.
But it's fine because I'm not going to work on Friday.
True.
I'm gonna have a fun day on Friday.
So if things don't go well, at least you have Friday.
At least I have Friday. At least I'm only working 4 days this week.
So was that your plan all along to just have Friday as your just in case day?
It wasn't, but now it is.
Okay, I know it is. Okay.
Also, my cousin's wedding is on Saturday.
Oh yeah.
Not looking forward to that. I don't like weddings. Plus, they're already married.
Oh.
Waste of
Oh,
time.
so this is just their ceremony.
Yes.
Okay.
Waste of time. But yeah, but you know what isn't a waste of time, Kelly?
What isn't?
Talking about Jennifer's body.
If you guys don't know, this is his favorite movie.
It's not my favorite movie,
Well,
but
it's one of his favorites.
I love this movie.
Yeah.
And I love Megan Fox. Said it before. I'm going to say it a lot
Say it
more.
again. Yeah.
Yay. So
the title of this episode is Jordan's love for
Megan Fox.
Megan Fox.
Mm.
If you ever hear this, Megan Fox.
I love you.
Yeah.
Not to like freak you out, but like my sexual awakening happened when I saw you in Transformers. Sorry.
I mean, you're not wrong. You're not wrong.
Yeah. So, this movie starts off with Jennifer. She's laying on her bed watching TV while you see a girl in the distance watching her from her window. We then get a voiceover from that girl who is in a mental institution who tells the audience that she gets letters from pervs and people praying for her. Before we learn from an orderly that her name is Needy. In her institution, which looked really nice, and
it
like
really did though,
and like everyone was like really nice.
Her cell was huge.
Yeah, she got her own cell, and
they allowed her to have like the letters and like the gifts that people sent her.
Yeah,
like you would think they would keep everything possible away from her,
even after what you learn about her. Yeah,
right.
Because in this institution, she is a loner, and she is known throughout the facility as a kicker, a person who kicks when they get angry. It's so bad that a very nice woman comes up to her, is like, hey, I think you should eat some more complex carbs, gets kicked in the throat.
Literally, she's like, yeah, maybe you should eat something other than one Pop-Tart.
Yeah.
And this girl just flips, dude. She just like, you know what? Kick to the stomach.
And she wasn't condescending or anything. She was like genuinely like, hey, let's eat something a little bit healthier.
Right. She's like, let's add something to your plate.
Yeah.
Add something to your Pop-Tart plate. And she's like, nah.
She's like, nope, you get kicked in the throat.
Exactly.
And so, yeah, that happens. So she gets sent to solitary confinement, which is that legal in mental institutions? I know it's legal in jails, which it should not be. But
maybe it's like that weird combo from Shutter Island,
where it's a mental institution slash jail. Okay, but like, how does putting a mentally ill person into a box
help
them in any way, shape, or form? Like, I'm not seeing how that's going to help her.
I don't know, man.
Yeah, okay. So, Needy then tells us that she used to be normal before killing started happening in her hometown of Devil's Kettle. A town where a waterfall ends up into a hole and like everyone's freaking out because no one knows where the water goes.
Right.
Does it really matter?
Does it matter? Honestly, I feel like they just blew that out of proportion. Like
they did. They were like, yeah, they've had scientists come by all the time and they're throwing stuff in there and they just don't know where it goes. I'm like, it goes somewhere. What does it matter?
Right. Honestly, and like she's like, maybe it's just deep.
Yeah.
And I feel like you would get maybe one or two groups of scientists out there at two different times and they would have came to the same conclusion and be like, yeah, that's it.
Exactly.
Unless it started glowing or things were coming out of it, no one would really care.
Oh, speaking of glowing, why were they wearing hazmat suits to throw balls into a hole?
Right. Like, was there something weird coming out of the water? Was there something in the water?
And why didn't they just throw a camera down there? Make it easier for everyone.
Like, what were those balls? Like,
they were just like orange balls and they just threw them down there.
Yeah, they look like the ones that they put in like little kids like
ball pits.
Ball pits.
Yeah. Maybe they thought there was some little children under there. Just throw them back up. Yeah, so Needy then proceeds to tell us that just 2 months before she ended up in this institute, She was living a normal life with her boyfriend Chip and her best friend Jennifer, the girl from the beginning of the movie. Chip is a band nerd. Needy is the like alternative book loving girl. And then
Yeah, she's what a hipster thinks they are.
yeah, and then Jennifer is a super hot and popular flag twirler. That made no sense, but okay.
Yeah, because it wasn't cheer. It definitely was not
It
cheer.
was flag
Everyone was
twirling.
flag twirling.
Yes, that's not a very popular thing to do, but
Isn't that just part of like marching band?
it is
Yeah. Maybe they're too small to have cheer.
probably. And so one day Jennifer invites Needy to go to go see a band called Low Shoulder at the town bar Melody Lane. And although Needy initially declines, Jennifer says she'll X her out, whatever that means. And then so
Yeah.
Needy's like, okay, I'll come.
We never get an explanation for this, by the way.
There's a lot of idioms that Jennifer uses that I don't know what they mean.
Yeah, and she says that pretty frequently.
Yeah. She says that, and then she calls her, one of them calls who monostat and who calls who yeastastat or
So,
whatever it is.
Vagisil?
Vagisil, that's what it is.
So Jennifer is Vagisil and Needy is
Monostat?
Monostat.
Cool,
Yeah.
cool.
Which how did they come to those nicknames? I
don't care.
know.
I love it. I love it. So that night, Jennifer comes to pick up Needy while Needy and Chip are upstairs making out and talking. And then we get our first iconic line of the movie. It smells like Thai food in here. Have you two been fucking? Love it. Hilarious. And the delivery was spot on. Spot on. And so the two of them then go to the bar, and it's full of like middle-aged men and a couple of guys from their school.
Yeah.
Including a foreign exchange student named Ahmet.
The demographic in this bar is huge.
Yeah. First off, why are these teenagers in this bar?
Right. Why are they allowing teenagers in a bar? Like, I get it, you're a small town, but like.
Right. Like, I get everyone knows each other. So, like, the kids aren't technically going to drink, but like they're drinking anyway.
Yeah, they're in an environment where drinking and smoking is happening anyway.
And also, as a fail safe, they literally put X's on their hands in Sharpie.
Mm-hmm.
Children, cover your ears. You can take off Sharpie with oil.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Everyone knows how to take off those like invisible ones too.
Yeah.
Like they stamp on you that they have to use like a black light to see it. Those come off extremely easily as well.
Yeah. Please do something, but you could at least do bracelets. Like
that. Right.
Like that would be more effort.
The ones that you get from like theme parks and stuff that you can't like rip off.
Yeah, the kind that are like super strong and they're not just like basic colors or like reflective or whatever.
Right. So they stand out.
Yeah. We then have a very uncomfortable scene where a man named Ronan, played by Chris Pratt, flirts with Jennifer, and then she grabs his junk, and he says stop, but only because they're in public.
Yeah. I did not like that.
I don't know how old Chris Pratt is in this movie, but he looks 30 in this movie.
I mean, everyone in this movie looks kind of old.
Yes, but like Jennifer's supposed to be 16. It was weird.
True.
Yeah. And so Low Shoulder gets to the bar, and Jennifer flirts with the lead singer. Is it Nikolai?
Yeah, Nikolai.
Yeah. I bet his real name is like Nicholas.
Yeah, or it's like not even close to what his real name is.
His real name is Edward.
Right. Why he went for such a foreign sounding name, I don't know.
She goes to get them drinks, and then Nikolai starts talking to his bandmates, and he's like, hey, I think she's a virgin. The woman who looks like Megan Fox is a virgin. His rationale is that she's so hot that she would never sleep with anybody. Does that make sense to you?
Right. So
Yeah, she's so hot that she would never sleep with anybody.
of course.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that makes sense. Because
I
hot
love how they
people
took
don't.
one look at Needy and they're like, nah,
Yeah,
nah.
one of the guys was like, "What about her?" And he was
Right.
like, "No." And I was like, "What? The nerdy girl?"
Right.
But it turns out she's not a virgin either, so it wouldn't have mattered.
Yeah, so it wouldn't have mattered.
Apparently, no one in this town is a virgin.
Yeah, like they were going not off stereotypes. And
Yeah.
even if they were going to go off stereotypes, it still wouldn't have worked.
Yeah. Um, yeah, so Needy overhears them talking about Jennifer, and so she goes up to them and is like, "Hey, Jennifer is a virgin, so stay away from her." Needy then goes to tell Jennifer what they were talking about, and Jennifer just laughs it off because she is very far from a virgin.
Yes.
And my suspicions were correct in being creeped out by Ronan because she lost her backdoor virginity to him. Gross.
Gross.
Uh, um, yeah, and so then Low Shoulder starts to play a song, and during the song, the bar catches on fire. How? Who knows?
Yeah. And it's like nobody says anything either. Like this fire starts and it goes on for maybe like a minute.
And then all of a sudden, the whole place is ablaze.
Yeah. And then it catches fire like it's nobody's business. And then people start freaking out.
Yeah. And so Needy and Jennifer narrowly escape through a bathroom window. And then when they get out, the guys from Low Shoulder are already outside somehow. And they invite Jennifer into their van. And Jennifer goes. Needy tries to help to stop her.
Yeah.
Not hard enough.
Really though.
Not hard enough at all.
She made like 1 or 2 protests.
Yeah.
And then that was it.
Yeah. And then she just watched her friend drive away into the woods with these random guys.
Who are like twice her age.
Yeah, and then she went home.
Right. Bad friend.
Bad friend. The fact that Jennifer does not kill her.
Right.
I would kill the first person I would go after is her. Yep.
Like we'll get there, but like
yeah.
Anyway.
Bad friend.
Bad friend.
Bad friend. And so when Needy gets home, she calls Chip and tells him what happened. And while on the phone, someone rings her doorbell, so she goes to open the door. And she sees that there's no one there, and so she starts to freak out a little bit, because, like, who wouldn't?
Right.
She goes back inside of her house and sees Jennifer in her kitchen covered in blood and does not start asking a million questions. She has one question, and she's like, okay, I guess you're fine, even though you're covered in blood.
She really just flowed with the situation way too quickly.
Yeah.
Because Jennifer was covered in blood.
And her mouth had blood coming out of it.
Yeah, and she literally just stared at her. She didn't scream. She didn't ask if she was okay. She literally just stared at her the whole time. And I'm like, that was not the correct response.
Not at all. And this is what happened. It happens in this order. Jennifer just smiles at her when she asks her what's wrong. She goes and rummages through the kitchen. She finds some chicken in the fridge, eats it cold. Yuck.
It's like that Twilight scene.
And then starts screaming demonically.
Yeah.
And then throws up black bile that moves.
Yep.
And Needy does not seem to care.
No. She doesn't freak out. She doesn't go to call anybody.
No, she tried to call the police. Well, yeah. But then Jennifer like grabbed her. And then all of a sudden she just completely forgot about the police.
Yeah.
And then Jennifer just runs out of the house.
Yeah.
And Needy does nothing.
Yeah, Needy goes to bed.
No, she didn't go to bed. She cleans up the bile.
Well, she cleans up and then she goes to bed, but she doesn't have a breakdown like a normal human being would.
Yeah, I would call everyone.
Yeah.
Anyone in my phone I would call.
Yeah, I wouldn't even be at that house anymore.
No.
I'd take one look at it and be like, nope.
You need to burn down now. Yeah.
Yeah. That's the only logical response.
That's always my response in horror movies. If something happens in a house, burn it.
Leave it and burn it.
Burn it. Don't bring anything out of it. Burn it
No.
as it
No.
is.
Yeah. The only thing you're bringing out is yourself.
Yourself. That's it.
Anything you brought in that was yours originally, you can buy it over again.
Yep. Insurance will cover it. You'll be fine.
Yeah. Yeah.
And so the next morning at school, Jennifer shows up and she's perfectly fine and seems not to have a care in the world, even though a bunch of people burned to death, including 8 of her classmates. Yep. She seems so happy.
Yeah, she does. It's a perfect day.
Yeah, it's a perfect day for her. Throughout the school, a bunch of people are crying and everything's getting canceled. And Needy tries to tell Chip what happened, but like he like brushes off her concerns.
Yeah.
Because she's literally like, she threw up bile, and he's like, she probably just had smoke in her lungs. I was like, what? No.
Yeah, that's not how that works.
That's not how that works. But Chip is just as he's probably the most obtuse person in this movie.
Yeah.
Needy's
he's a lot worse.
Needy's pretty obtuse, but he is way worse.
Yeah. The way her mind works is very strange. And like the things that she like dedicates her like reactions to in her brain time.
Yeah.
Doesn't make sense, but she does come to conclusions eventually.
Yes, it takes some time, but she gets there.
Yeah.
Chip does not get there.
At all.
At all. Yeah, and so he does not care about this.
No.
But you know what he does care about? When a random boy named Colin starts speaking to Needy. Then all of a sudden he's like, what's going on?
Yeah. Only then is he invested.
Yeah. He's like, I have questions.
Mm-hmm.
How are you friends with this man?
Right. I thought he was a weirdo. I thought you don't associate with weirdos. Like, bro,
yeah,
take a chill pill. Okay.
Calm down. Like, you heard their conversation. It was nothing.
Right. He was literally just like, I'm glad you're alive. I'm glad you survived. Yeah. Like,
which a normal person would do.
Yeah. Jeez.
And then so on the school's football field, which was huge, like it was the size of like a professional football field. It was huge.
Yeah, like the school that they're in is small.
Yeah. But
their field was huge.
And weirdly enough, just like it just went straight into the woods. Like there was no gate, nothing. That freaks me out.
Yeah.
But like I grew up in cities. I don't know what
I
don't know what country living's like.
I mean, my college was like that.
But that's a college.
Yeah, I know, but we were backed up to a forest. There were no gates between us and the forest, man.
But it's a college. I'll let that slide.
Okay.
And so a boy named Jonas is just standing there crying for some reason at the end of the football field because his best friend Craig died in the fire.
Maybe he just needed like a space to cry in that happened to be out in the field.
Don't justify it. And so Jennifer goes to comfort him. And to comfort him, they both walk into the woods. And then Jennifer tries to seduce him before turning into a demon and eating him.
Yep.
Yep.
With an animal audience, by the way.
Yes. Like, it was very Snow White, but make it creepy.
Yeah. Yeah. Snow White, but make it rated R.
Yeah. While he is being killed, the school's science teacher hears him screaming, but pursues he's just crying, even though he is screaming.
Yeah. That was not a sob of like anguish. That was a scream of I am being killed.
Yes. Also, can we talk about how Jonas looked old as shit?
Yeah.
He looked just as old as Chris Pratt did in this movie.
You know what? I'm gonna look that up while you're talking. I'm gonna see how
cool.
Pratt is.
Also, why were all the animals there?
Yeah, like what attracted them?
Right. Were they attracted to her? And if so, why did this never happen again?
Right. It only happens that one time.
That one time.
And that's it.
Weird.
Like,
So then we go to Needy's house where she's listening to the radio and she hears that one Low Shoulder song. I swear that's the only song they have. They play it like 5 times in the movie.
That is their only song.
And somehow they're going to tour off of that one song. But yeah. Low Shoulder has become like hometown heroes / national heroes somehow because this one little fire in this God knows where town became national news somehow.
Yeah. Like they're a small town of, I don't know, a couple hundred people, and they make it to national
They
news.
make it to national news for apparently for weeks.
Yeah. That's not how the news
Right? You're telling me
works.
nothing else happened. The
Right.
devil really does work hard because wow. Um yeah, and so they're using their newfound popularity to promote their music. Back at the school, the science teacher goes into the woods because he probably finally realized, hey, that was weird screaming. And he finds a deer drinking blood from Jonas's mangled body.
Do deer do that?
No, deer are vegetarians.
Okay. Okay.
um, After that, we get the iconic scene of Jennifer swimming naked in the lake.
Yep. Yep.
Olivia Rodrigo stole from this, but I'll let it slide.
Okay, I'm gonna interject with how old Chris Pratt is in this movie.
Okay.
He's 30.
I knew it. I knew it. I knew it.
Do you know how old Megan Fox is in this movie?
24.
23.
I'm really good at guessing ages.
Yeah, you really are though.
Speaking of ages, yesterday, me and Kelly had a very frightening discussion. A very, very frightening discussion.
Yeah.
There have been a lot of adults on TV shows and movies making out with children, and I'm not okay with it.
Yeah.
Not at all.
Pitchforks. Get your torches.
We started off with what some people would find reasonable, but I don't. 16-year-old making out with a 19-year-old. And then we moved all the way to Kristen Dunst at 12 years old making out with a 30-year-old Brad Pitt.
I thought he was lying.
I was not lying.
I had to look it up myself and double check.
If you've never seen Interview with the Vampire, I'm just going to tell you now. There is a scene where a 12-year-old Kristen Dunst makes out with Brad Pitt. Jail.
For everyone involved.
Everyone involved.
Minus Kristen Dunst.
Down to the PAs. Everyone goes to jail.
Because someone saw that and was like, that's all right.
Right? That's okay. We will let the world see this.
No. Absolutely not.
I'm fighting all of Hollywood.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Just shut it all down. No more movies.
Yeah.
No more movies.
We don't need them that much anyway.
No. We have enough. There's enough movies in the world.
Yeah.
We're done.
Mm-hmm.
Back to the movie. So that night, Jennifer calls Needy, telling her about how incredible she feels while she uses a lighter to burn her tongue, which immediately goes back to normal. Mm-hmm. She then goes to meet Chip, who tells her that they found Jonas's body and that he was murdered. Needy believes that this is connected to the fire, but Chip doesn't think so because Chip is dumb. And apparently so is everyone else in this town. Because no one's like, hey, that weird random fire and then this murder, nothing ever happens here. What's going on?
Right. I hate it when they're like, oh yeah, nothing's ever happened here. And then the minute something strange happens, it's like everybody's brain is like, that's normal. Yeah. If nothing ever happened in this town, this would be very, very strange and concerning.
Yes.
There are 0 brain cells in this town.
Nothing. Yeah, no one's thinking. Not at all. And we'll get to even more about how no one's thinking towards the end of the movie. Yeah, then Needy then tells us through voiceover that everyone in the town is depressed except for Jennifer, who seems to be thriving. The whole country knows about their small town now, and Low Shoulder has now become a huge deal with their song Through the Trees.
Which we never really hear, by the way.
We hear snippets of it throughout the movie.
Yeah,
they never perform the full song, and they perform
we get,
it
10
twice.
seconds.
Yeah, and then so slowly the town starts to heal, and everyone's getting happier. But now that everyone's getting happier, Jennifer seems to be getting cranky, irritable, and overall just feeling like shit.
Yeah.
And then I love that the movie points out that an ugly Jennifer isn't ugly. I love that they pointed that out
Yeah.
because I hate in movies when they're like, look at this super gorgeous girl. We took off her makeup and now she's ugly. It's like, no,
Right.
it's not how
Right.
it works.
Right. Or it's the that scene from Wonder Woman when they're giving her a new outfit from her regular clothes and they put glasses on her
Yeah.
and she's like, and suddenly she's not the most beautiful girl in the room. Like,
Yeah.
frick off, guys. Just because you take off her makeup and put
Yeah.
glasses on her does not mean she's ugly.
Yeah. And ugly Jennifer is like a 7. She's a
Yeah.
7
Yeah. Yeah.
instead of being her usual 10.
Yeah. Like, she's still gorgeous. Like,
Yeah.
frick off.
And so while walking through the halls one day, Colin asks Jennifer out, and she says no because she doesn't want to go see the Rocky Horror Picture Show because she thinks it's a boxing movie and she does not like boxing. Yes.
Just because Rocky is in
Yeah.
it.
And then when Needy starts talking about how much of a good guy Colin is, Jennifer decides to invite him over to watch Aquamarine. Do you want to know how she describes Aquamarine?
I love it.
It's a movie about a girl who's half sushi and she has sex through her blowhole. Yeah.
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 That is Aquamarine.
That's
100%.
Aquamarine in a nutshell.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And we'll prove it to you by doing the movie next week.
And then Chip makes a date to go over to Needy's house because he just went to Super Target and he got some condoms. Yep. That night, while Needy and Chip are having sex, Colin drives to what he believes is Jennifer's house, but it's really a house that's being built. He goes inside and sees that Jennifer has prepared a room upstairs with candles, while Akon Smack That plays in the background. Yeah.
Truly the peak of romance.
The peak of romance. And then she
also,
says, what?
Colin really must have liked Jennifer to roll up to that house and be like, yeah, she's totally in there.
Yep.
And then go through the house and get scared once by a crow coming through.
Yeah.
And being freaked out about the ambiance and then still looking for Jennifer. Like,
well, the second I saw those rats scurry across the floor, I would have been out.
Same.
I'm not having sex anywhere rats are. That's disgusting.
Yeah, that's gross, and I'm going to get bubonic plague.
Yeah. Because of his stupidity, he gets eaten.
He deserved that.
Yeah. Let me tell you something about abandoned houses, or not abandoned houses, but like houses that are being built. Few people know this. I used to live in Texas for like a year. I know.
But good for you for getting out.
Good for me for getting out. You know what I used to do as a child when I lived there? I used to run around houses that were being built in my aunt's neighborhood. And I am so lucky I was never murdered or injured.
Yeah.
Because like these houses were not complete. Like I could have fallen through the freaking floor and like died.
Yeah.
Or some homeless person could have been living in there and murdered me. I only stopped because my aunt caught me one day and she literally told me, you're gonna get murdered or hurt. And then I stopped.
I mean, she's not wrong.
She's not wrong. But yeah, if you also did that, like email us. Like, don't make me feel alone.
Right. No, because like my dad and I do that anytime. Like we're having a bunch of new like neighborhoods and apartments being built around us right now. And like Saturday afternoons, we'll just be like, we're gonna go walk through those houses. And we literally just walk through and be like, I wonder what they're gonna put here and blah blah blah. And like,
see, at least there's 2 of you, and you were not a child.
Yeah, no, I'm not allowed to go by myself. I don't trust myself going up like 2-story buildings by myself if there is no like handrail. I will fall and kill myself.
With your track record, don't do that. Yeah, but I was in the 3rd grade.
Oh yeah, you're a child.
I was a child. The fact that I am still alive with all the stuff I did as a child is very much God. Thank you, God.
Yeah, that's a straight up miracle, bro.
That's a miracle. And then back to the movie. At the exact moment that Jennifer kills Colin, Needy has some sort of psychic link, which is never explained. And she can
Yeah.
sense that something just happened. And she's also seeing dead people.
Yeah, so she like connects with Jennifer somehow, and this only
Yeah.
happens once,
No, no,
by the
no. It
way.
happens twice.
Does it happen twice?
It happens
Near the end?
here and then at the end of the movie.
Oh, okay, okay. But like, yeah, the connection is never explained,
No.
and everyone just rolls with it.
Yeah. Everyone just rolls with it. Yeah, and so she sees dead people and she freaks out. And then what's his name? Chip.
Yes.
Chip, while she's freaking out because she starts crying, he thinks that he was just giving it to her too well. He even asks her if he's too big. Sir, you've had sex before.
Also, her crying like that,
Yeah.
yeah,
Those
that's
were not tears of
not,
joy.
no, no, they were not. And she was saying hopeless.
The
And
fact that he did not stop when she started crying was weird to
exactly,
me.
exactly. Like
That's a
that
red
should,
flag.
right. Like the minute somebody like whimpers, crying, says no, starts to start freaking out in general, you stop and be like, hey, you good?
Yeah.
You
Yeah.
doing all
He
right?
waited until he was finished. He'd be like,
Right,
did I hurt you?
right. And then
Like,
he made it about himself being like, oh, it's because I'm so great.
yeah, I'm
It's
so
like, nah.
big.
Mm-mm,
Sir, you weren't this big last week. Calm down.
mm-mm, right. Right. Just because you are still growing like tall and whatever does not mean everything else about you keeps
Yeah,
growing too.
that's done.
Right.
That's done.
There is a limit and it has been reached.
And then so after Needy runs out and starts driving when she almost runs over Jennifer. And so what does Jennifer do? She jumps onto Needy's car.
Why she thought that was necessary, I will never know.
I don't know. And so Needy freaks out and she drives home. She gets home and she falls asleep on the couch and has a nightmare about Jennifer.
Mm-hmm.
So she wakes up later and she goes again to her bed and finds Jennifer in it.
Surprise.
Look, even if weird stuff wasn't happening in my town, if I went into my room and someone was just in my bed in the dark, I would accidentally slit their throat.
Yeah. 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 No, it's on site.
Yeah, it's on site, no questions until you're dead. Sorry.
Right.
That was
Right.
your
I'm
own
not turning
fault.
any lights on. It is my life or yours.
Yeah, I'm not taking any chances.
Mm-mm.
No. And then so Jennifer's like, "What's wrong?"
Yeah, this is all normal for her.
Yeah, Jennifer's like, "Nothing's wrong," and then
Yeah.
proceeds to make out with Needy.
Yes.
Oh, and they make sure they show us their tongues.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
Yep.
yeah. They make out for like 2 minutes before Needy finally realizes that something weird is happening. And then Jennifer then explains that the night of the fire, the guys from Lowell's Shoulder sacrificed her so they could be famous. They took her out to the woods, tied her up, stabbed her a lot of times,
Mm-hmm.
and then threw the knife into the devil's hole, whatever it's called, devil's kettle hole,
Devil's kettle.
devil's kettle.
Yeah.
uh, and
Also,
then
Needy is freaked out by this, but not enough, in
not
my
enough,
opinion.
not
In my
enough.
opinion, yeah.
All literally when Jennifer's done, she's like, "So you died?" Like with that exact same inflection in her voice.
Yeah, and then she's like, "But you're alive," and it's like, "Yeah." So what's in her?
Right? So what's the matter? Like there's something wrong here.
Right. Like she has the 2 points, but she hasn't made the connection.
And so then Jennifer has to do it for her.
Yes.
And so Jennifer tells her about the night when she came to her house and she threw up all over her floor and ate her chicken.
Mhm.
how she was going to eat her, but she's her best friend, so she decided not to because she was so hungry. And so she goes out walking the streets. And then who does she run into? Ahmet, who survived the fire. And then
Good for him.
not good for him.
Well, not
Because
ultimately not.
yeah, he was her first victim.
Yes.
And she says that she needs to eat people to stay healthy and invincible. And then Jennifer starts to like gaslight Needy, so Needy kicks her out of her house.
Yeah.
And instead of going through the front door, she jumps off of the second story window.
Honestly, I feel like she did that just to mess with Needy.
You know she did.
Yeah, 100%. And good for her for doing that.
Manipulation is Jennifer's game,
Honestly, though.
and she's good at it.
Yes, she's very good at it.
Very good at it. I mean, when you look like Megan Fox, people will believe anything you say.
Yeah.
Megan Fox could look me dead in my eyes, say the sun is blue, and I'm like, you're right.
Yeah. Yeah, you're absolutely correct.
You're absolutely correct. I must be colorblind.
Yes. I am 100% colorblind.
And then sometime later, there's a funeral for Colin, and this time the town doesn't really seem to care that students are still being murdered.
Which is very messed up, by the way.
Yeah, because I spoke about this later. They continue to go ahead with their spring formal. A child was just murdered,
Right.
and they're like, you know what? Let's have a party.
Right. At this point, 9 or 10 kids have been killed at this high school.
Like 10 kids are dead in this town of like a few hundred people.
Right. And they're like, no, we gotta rebuild. We gotta keep moving on. Blah blah blah.
Yeah.
And it's like, no, it's okay to be sad for a little bit. It's all right.
Yeah, no one seems to care, but Needy cares.
Yay.
And so she finally starts doing something. She goes to start researching the paranormal.
In her high school library, by the way.
Yeah, they had a paranormal section.
They have an occult section.
We couldn't even read Harry Potter. They didn't even have Harry Potter in ours. So, yeah.
But you know what our library did have?
The chicken soup for the soul.
The time traveler's wife.
Did it?
Mm-hmm.
Oh. Scandalous.
Because I found it and I brought it to Sabrina's mom, and she's like, "Oh, it's a really good book." I'm like, "You've read this? What is this doing here?" And so I read it.
There's children in here.
Right, and I think it was on one of the lower shelves. There, you know what? If you knew where to look, you can find some actually questionable books in that library.
Where do they get those books from? Were they like donated?
I don't know, because there was a mystery book there that like got a little spicy. And it like set me off on like my mystery novel like
I should just
kick in high school.
I should just show up one day and just throw in a 50 Shades of Grey book on the shelf.
See, you know what you do? You buy the hardback and take the outside sleeve off.
Oh, yep.
And then just put it randomly, bro. We're bad. We're terrible.
We're bad. We should not be around children.
We really shouldn't.
Yeah, and so Needy is looking through her school library occult section, and she finds a book that tells her about demons. And so she tries to explain to Chip what she found and how a demon took over Jennifer's body, because if you do a sacrifice on a girl who is not a virgin, you will still get your reward, which makes no sense to me.
Yeah.
But a demon will take over that girl's body.
I feel like it should be the other way around.
It should be the other way around.
Yeah.
A demon should take over your body because you tried to fuck over Satan.
Right. And like whoever they sacrifice should like be kept alive and been like, yeah, you got screwed over.
Yeah.
So not your fault.
That's your fault.
It's theirs.
It was an error on their part.
Right. They were too greedy.
I'm so sorry.
Right. Sorry for the mix up. But
don't tell anyone, okay?
Yeah.
Yeah. And so she's like, yeah, she's a demon. She needs to feed on human flesh. Chip is like, are you okay? and does not care. He's like, okay, so
Yeah.
like, are we going to the dance?
Yeah, he spends 2 seconds like actually concerned for her, and then it was just like, yeah, so we're still going to formal, right?
Yeah. And then
After she said she didn't want to go.
yeah, and so Needy breaks up with him to protect him.
Is that what happens?
Yeah.
Oh, I
They
just
like
thought
break
like,
up. Yeah.
oh, okay.
It was very subtle, but like they broke
It
up.
was okay. All right, maybe I wasn't. Maybe I
She's
didn't pick up what they were putting down.
She was literally like, you can't go to the dance. I'm sorry. I'm going just to watch Jennifer. Like you can't go.
Oh, okay. All right.
And so the night of the dance, everyone's getting ready for the dance, including Chip, who decides to
Yeah.
go
Yeah.
because he doesn't want to tell his mom that he broke up with his girlfriend.
Also, I think he didn't.
Honestly,
It,
same.
and I don't think he wanted to admit that he wasted the $12 on buying her corsage.
Yes. That was his main reason for wanting to go. Because he
Basically.
paid $12 for a corsage.
Mm-hmm.
Broke people should never laugh. Nicki Minaj said it best. Yeah, and so what's her name? Needy is wearing a very ugly dress.
Yeah, basically
Jen-
her mom probably gave her her old prom dress
from like the
and made her look like
70s
she's from the 80s.
and then did her hair the same.
Yeah.
It was
Hair
bad.
and makeup, by the way.
Yeah. And then Jennifer's dress also looked ugly.
Yeah.
Like I think what made it look okay was the fact that Megan Fox was in it.
Yeah.
Otherwise, it was
like the whole
hideous
thing.
dress.
The whole thing with whatever the chiffon, like, what is it, scarf?
Sure.
That was on her shoulders. It was shawl,
Unnecessary.
whatever. Very unnecessary.
And then she had like that
when
weird ribbon thingy. Yeah.
Yeah, when she took off the shawl, I was like, okay, it's a little bit better.
Yeah.
But yeah, it was like a 6 out of 10 for me.
Yeah. And so also while Jennifer's getting ready for the dance, her hair is falling out.
Yes.
And while she's putting up, okay, you're gonna have to explain this to me because I to this day don't understand what was happening.
Okay.
Was her makeup coming off or was she putting makeup on?
She was putting makeup on.
Okay.
Definitely.
Thank you.
Yeah, because you can see where she puts her fingers. It's a lighter color.
Yeah, I saw the
rest of
finger.
her face.
Yeah, I saw the finger streaks, but I thought that was like the color like coming off of her skin.
Nah, because she looked like super ashy, and then when she put her fingers, it got lighter. So I was like, she's putting her makeup on.
Okay.
But she's doing it in a way that makes her look crazy because she's using her hands and she's just like putting it on like that.
Yeah. Anyway, she's hungry.
Yes. Yeah.
And apparently she doesn't eat every day. Demons don't eat every day.
Yeah, they're like snakes or something. They eat something up like for like one day and then a week later they're hungry.
Yeah. And she doesn't even like eat their entire bodies, which is very weird.
Yeah, she like drinks some of their blood, maybe chomps on their insides a little bit.
She takes like a couple bites and then she drinks some blood and then she's like, I'm full for a week.
Right. I feel like she should have saved one of the bodies somewhere.
Yeah.
Just come back and munch and then.
I mean, like, don't leave it out in like the heat. Like, get yourself a nice cooler.
Right. Right.
I don't know if you can reheat bodies, but like, you could try.
I mean, you can cook them.
You have an oven.
Right. Not like you thought about it or anything.
And apparently your mom is never around. So like,
yeah. Like, where is her family, bro?
I think she only has a mom.
Okay.
Because at the beginning she said that her mom was going on a date.
Oh, yeah, on a date with somebody.
So yeah. But like no one's parents are around because like Needy's mom is never there either.
Yeah.
And so Needy's at the dance and she's waiting for Jennifer so she can like keep an eye out on her. When Low Shoulder comes up and starts playing their hit song. Meanwhile, Jennifer stops Chip while he's walking to the dance under the pretense of talking about Needy. But then she's like, Needy and Colin were banging on the side. They were doing stuff you've never even heard about. And I was like, wow, you didn't need to add that.
Yeah, you really did it. She was being just real petty in that
Yeah.
moment. Like, honestly, you probably could mention something that's like other than missionary, and he would probably be like, I've never heard that.
Right?
Because he thinks he got bigger in a week. Like,
Yeah.
you
He-
really could have said anything. And he would have been like, oh my gosh.
You could have been like, she was reverse cowgirling. She was
Right.
Eiffel Towering. How was she doing
Right.
that with one person? Who knows?
Who knows?
But she
She
did
literally
it.
could have been like, yeah, they're doing something called the screwball. And he could have
Yeah.
been like, what?
What?
Like, it doesn't even exist. But he would have been like, damn, I got to learn about the
Gotta learn
screwball.
that. I'm gonna have to Google that later. And then so she then starts making out with him.
Yeah.
And like he doesn't stop, but like, would you? And then she takes him to an abandoned pool. Under what pretense? I don't know.
Okay, but would you follow Megan Fox into
I
a
would
dilapidated?
follow Megan Fox anywhere.
Okay, I'm maybe asking the wrong person.
But I'm just confused as to what reason she gave him that they were going to that grody abandoned pool.
Yeah. But Jordan, would it take much from Megan Fox to tell you to follow her to?
Look. I love Megan Fox dearly,
Okay.
but there's no way I'm banging on that dirty pool floor.
Okay,
Even I can have a little bit of sense when it comes to Megan Fox, just a little bit.
Yeah. So your standards are just raise a little bit when you look at that place and you're like,
yes. Oh. I'm gonna tell you now, when she threw him into that fucking water, I would be like, oh, I have to die now.
Yeah. Yeah. I feel that. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So let's get to that. At this abandoned pool, they're talking or whatever, and then he happens to mention Needy, and that like sets her off. Mm-hmm. So she throws him into the pool. Meanwhile, Needy is having her weird premonition thing going on.
Yeah.
And she knows that Jennifer is after Chip. Somehow. And knows where they are.
Yes.
That was the kicker for me.
Mm-hmm. Like, if it was anything else other than knowing their location, I would have been like, yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah, if it was just the Chip's in trouble thing, I would have been like, okay. Mm-hmm. Oh, okay. I would like, I get it. Jennifer's not here. You don't know where Chip is. You're worried.
Right.
But the fact that she knew where they were.
Got a weird echolocation on her.
Yeah, that was weird.
Yeah.
And then so at this abandoned pool, Needy walks in while Jennifer is like snacking on Chip's carotid. And
how he isn't dead yet is a miracle.
A miracle.
It takes a cup, like it doesn't take that long if you cut your carotid.
Yeah.
That's a major artery, bro.
Like there is a huge chunk of his neck missing.
Yeah, and he's alive.
He's like, Needy. And I'm like, how are you talking?
Right, he should have been dead.
Yeah, and so Needy jumps in to save Chip, and Jennifer starts levitating in the air after Needy pepper sprays her.
I love the moment that comes after this.
Player hater. You're such a player hater. Yes. It's so funny. They then have an insult battle before Jennifer tries to eat Needy for calling her insecure and saying that she needs to take laxatives to stay skinny. Yeah. I also would have killed her.
Yeah.
Because, like, what comeback do you have after that?
Yeah. Also, if you do have an eating disorder, please get help.
Please get some help.
Yeah.
Laxatives
that's no joke.
Laxatives are not safe to be taking on the regular.
Yeah, that's not safe.
You are fucking your digestive system up.
Yeah, and the rest of you, because you need nutrients.
Yeah, you're getting no nutrients.
Yeah.
It's all getting pooped out.
Mm-hmm.
And then Chip stabs Jennifer with a pool skimmer. And Jennifer runs off for some reason.
Yeah.
Like she still could have killed them, but instead she was like, I'm going to go.
Yeah, like she can heal herself pretty quickly.
Yeah. But she says something very funny. She looks at Needy. She's like, do you have a tampon?
Honestly,
just walks off.
All of her comebacks and commentary in this whole movie, A plus.
A plus.
A plus.
Where's her Oscar? And then so Jennifer leaves, and then Chip dies in Needy's arms. This has pissed Needy off. So we go back to the scene at the beginning of the movie where Needy was stalking Jennifer. Needy jumps through the glass window and attacks Jennifer. There's
Honestly,
a lot of
her entrance is just questionable in so many ways.
Yes. And there's so much noise, and her mother does not hear.
Oh my gosh, yeah.
So much noise.
Like the homegirl busts through a window.
Yeah. And then there's like screaming at each other.
Yeah. And then it takes her 5 minutes afterward to finally be like, maybe I should go check on that noise.
Yeah. And then she's like all nonchalant about it. She's like, what is it?
Mm-hmm.
But we'll get to that.
We will.
And so she starts attacking Jennifer. And then they both start fighting while levitating in the air. And Jennifer bites Needy. Needy then yanks off Jennifer's BFF necklace, and this somehow distracts her or like breaks her heart or something, because then she just stops levitating.
Yeah. I don't know why that was the big emotional toll that like broke her.
Yeah, that was weird.
Yeah.
And then so Needy uses this distraction to stab her in the heart with a box cutter, and Jennifer gets the best ending line out of any movie in the entire world. She says, "My tit." Love it.
Yeah.
Hilarious. Beautiful. And then now that Jennifer's dead, Jennifer's mom decides to walk in. So then we go back to present day at the mental institution, and Needy explains that if you get bit by a demon and you live, you can absorb some of its abilities while she is floating in the air. Yep. She then kicks out a window because she's a kicker to escape.
She's a kicker.
And then while walking on the side of the road, she comes across the balls and the knife that were thrown into Devil's Kettle hole, whatever.
Yeah, whatever it is.
And she picks up the knife, and then she gets picked up by a man and hitchhikes her way to where Low Shoulder is. Where are they? We never know.
But they're in the city somewhere.
Yeah, what city? Who knows? We then have a credit scene where Needy kills the members of Low Shoulder.
Yes.
Like they deserve.
Yeah. Also, can I just say, I'm glad that they're dead.
Yes.
But why couldn't, like, Needy, if Needy was smarter about all this, why couldn't she just, like, partner with Jennifer and be like, hey, let's go after the guys that did this to you?
Right? Why did Jennifer never want to go after them?
Right. Like, if I was Jennifer, they would be first on my hit list. I would have been like, what's her name from Twilight? Okay. Hunted.
Oh, Rosalie?
Yeah, I would have been 100% Rosalie. Hunted those mofos down one by one.
Ending with the guy that stabbed me.
Ending with
times.
Nikolai.
Yeah.
Right.
Absolutely. We're cut from the same cloth.
Yes.
Vengeance.
Right. Like
vengeance.
Like if they ever redo this movie, I want that kind of storyline.
Yes.
Please.
I want Jennifer killing the band members.
Like she deserves.
And then she can die.
And yeah, right. Or she can like be like, you know what, I'm gonna.
Oh hell no, Kelley. No.
For those of you who can't see this, before we started filming, I have a towel rack on my door, and my towel kind of fell a little bit.
Girl, your door is opening and closing.
And then it now just fallen completely.
And her door keeps opening and closing by itself.
It's doing that because I have my window open, so it's.
There's a ghost in your house. You have to burn it down. I'm so sorry.
Sorry, guys. We're gonna have to cut this episode short.
Yeah, her computer is gone. It's burning right now as we speak.
Yeah. It's what's happening right now is like Paranormal Activity. Yeah, so there's stuff going on behind me, but I can't see it for some reason.
Oh, Lord, when that door swung open, I swear I almost peed my pants.
Sorry, friends.
Uh, but yeah, that's the end of the movie.
That is the end of the movie.
Are you ready for the movie facts?
Yes, I am.
There were quite a lot.
I'm not surprised.
So both Megan Fox and Amanda Seyfried
Mm-hmm.
have both said that this is their favorite movie they've ever done.
Oh,
I love that.
yeah, so do I.
Emma Stone was considered for the role of Needy. Yeah.
Yeah.
To prepare for her role as a possessed living dead teenager, Megan Fox lost about 15 pounds,
Oh my gosh.
bringing her weight down to 97 pounds. And she stayed out of the sun to stay pasty white.
97 pounds
Yeah.
as a 23-year-old.
Yeah.
That's not healthy.
That's not healthy at all.
No.
Yeah.
No.
This might be my favorite.
Okay.
This might be my favorite.
Okay.
The waterfall that goes nowhere.
Mm-hmm.
You know, the Devil's Kettle.
Mm-hmm.
Devil's Blowhole, whatever you want to call it.
Yeah.
It's real.
I was about to say.
It's at Judge Magny State Park in Minnesota.
Oh, okay.
And the water disappears into a glacial porthole.
Okay, so we do know where this one goes. Okay.
Yeah. Jennifer's vomit was made from Hershey's chocolate syrup.
Oh.
Yay.
Okay.
And Blake Lively was supposed to play Jennifer, but she had to turn it down because she had to do Gossip Girl.
Thank God.
Thank God.
Like, I'm sorry, Blake Lively, you're beautiful, but no.
This role was meant for Megan Fox.
Yes.
Yes.
It was written for her in mind. If somebody says otherwise, I'm going to deny you because have you seen that performance?
Yeah. The performance says it all.
Yes, it does.
So here's the question that determines the future of this podcast. Is this movie iconic?
Absolutely.
Oh.
Absolutely.
Okay. We'll see you next week, guys. See you next week.
Yeah, I mean, come on. This movie has iconic lines. It's got Megan Fox.
Yes, let me tell you some of my favorites.
Okay.
What's up, Monostat?
What's up,
my tit.
Yeah, my tit.
Do you have a tampon? It smells like Thai food in here. Have you guys been fucking? Do you buy all of your murder weapons at Home Depot?
Mm-hmm.
Love those lines. Those are my favorites.
It's beautiful.
Not to mention how self-aware this movie is. Love it. Plus I love Megan Fox. So,
right.
That's how it goes.
Right. So don't be surprised if we do like Transformers next week.
Yeah.
Because we need more Megan Fox.
Mm-hmm. Never the third one.
No.
No.
I stop after the first two.
Yep. There are no other ones.
Mm-mm. What?
Well,
there's only two Transformers movies.
I will accept the Bumblebee movie. I kind of like that one.
Yeah, the Bumblebee movie's cute. I will accept that.
But once they started doing robotic dinosaurs,
robotic dinosaurs.
Yes.
I haven't seen any of the newer Transformers except for Bumblebee.
It's one of the Mark Wahlberg ones.
Oh.
It's bad. I've seen every Transformer movie.
Ooh.
They've just got way worse.
Oh no. Which one's the worst?
That one.
That one.
I think it's called like The Last Night or something like that.
The Last Night?
Transformers something night. Like KNI.
Oh yeah, The Last Night.
Yeah.
KNIGHT.
Terrible.
Is the dinosaur one Age of Extinction?
Yes, I think so. Dinosaurs. Actually, I think they both have dinosaurs in them.
Really?
I think so.
Ooh, no, thank you. Ooh, do you know what score it got from Rotten Tomatoes? The Transformers: The Last Night.
15%.
Yeah.
I'm right.
Yeah, you're right.
I'm right.
You're right. Yeah.
Of course, I'm right.
Oh my goodness.
I should play the lottery.
You should.
I'm really good with numbers right now.
You are. Wow, that's terrible.
Yeah, don't watch those movies. Don't do that.
I'm gonna check the Rotten Tomatoes score of the other ones.
Okay.
Oh no, Stanley Tucci is in Age of Extinction.
Is he? I kind of blocked most of the like story out of my mind.
His character's name is Joshua. I don't know if that helps you or not.
It does not.
Well, that one got a 17%.
So much of an improvement.
Yay.
Well, yeah. Iconic movie. Absolutely. Iconic actress. Love it. What are your recommendations for this week?
So I have one, and it is the 90s TV show, The Nanny.
Oh, love it. It's on HBO Max.
It's so good. I saw some episodes come up on TV, and I had to sit there and watch it because I grew up watching it. It's such a good show.
Very funny.
The outfits are iconic. Fran is funny.
Hilarious.
Watch it. Also, there's some like heartwarming moments in there too sometimes, and it's really nice. Go watch it if you need like something to put on in the background and you need a good laugh. Put it on. It's so good. That's it.
As for me, I have several.
Oh, okay.
They're all TV shows. First one, Loki. Get into it.
Oh, yeah.
First episode was last week. When you're listening to this episode, the
number 2 will be out.
Watch it. It's getting good. Getting good. Second one, The Boondocks. I started watching it again because I found a TikTok that showed a scene from it, and I was laughing my ass off. And I was like, I need to watch this show again.
And honestly, I should probably do the same because I was way too young to be watching it the first time.
Yes, please watch it. It's so much funnier when you like get all of the references. Please watch it.
I'm sure.
Oh, it's so funny. My third one, my little hidden gem. So BET.
Oh,
I despise BET. Like, I actively hate BET. Like, the amount of harm BET has done to the Black community is it used to be good in like the 90s and the early 2000s. I don't know what happened.
Yeah, honestly, the only time I ever watched BET was 106 in Park, and that was it. And that's because it was music based.
I blame Tyler Perry. I blame him. Literally all the shows on there are Tyler Perry shows, and they are terrible. Yeah, but VT just did they're doing a new reality show where they're getting girls from girl groups, like old girl groups from like the 90s and early 2000s, and Nivea for some reason. Don't know why she's there.
Yeah.
She was never in a girl group. But yeah, there's like 9 of them. They put them in a house, and they're supposed to make an album together and do a performance, and they have 30 days.
Yeah,
it's comedy gold. I don't like reality TV shows.
Me neither.
I am watching this. Yep. I turned on that first episode and I was hooked. Hooked.
I've only seen the clips that he sent me, and they were good.
If you like mess, you will love this show.
Yeah.
The 2 twins from Cherish are messy.
Yeah.
Messy. Keely Williams, messy. Insane as well, but messy.
Yes. Yeah.
Audrey from Danity Kane, messy. I love it. Nivea,
I miss Danity Kane.
Nivea, hilarious. Hilarious. She's not trying to mess with anybody. She's just naturally funny. I love it. Please watch it. It's called BET Presents The Encore. Please watch it. You will love the hour you spend watching this show. It will go by like that. Like, you will be like, I want more.
Do it.
They had a scene where they had them dancing. That was hilarious. They had a scene where they had them singing like individually.
Was it the
That
one that you showed me when they were on the
yes,
piano? Oh my
that
god.
was
Yes.
funny. How some of these girls were even able to be in girl groups, I don't know.
Honestly, maybe we should go back and see how much they actually sang in songs.
I know Keely did not sing in any of her groups. In 3LW, she didn't really sing until they kicked out Notori.
Mm,
And then in the Cheetah Girls, she didn't really sing
no,
because she can't sing.
no.
She
And
can
it
dance though.
shows.
She can dance though. She
Yes.
can bust a move. She can't sing. Who else couldn't sing? The girls who were in 702.
Oh.
How can they not sing?
Mm-mm. From the front to back.
How could they not? Who was singing?
Right.
Who was singing?
Is this like that Destiny's quote unquote Destiny's Child song that's just Beyonce?
Oh, that's probably it. It was probably one main girl singing everything, and then
Mm-hmm.
two quote unquote background
Background
singers.
singers.
Yeah, and then of course my favorite singers were still hitting their notes. Cherish Girls, Shamari from Black. Yes,
Respect.
respect. I've been talking about this for way too long. And it's hot as hell in my house. So, thank you for listening.
Thank you so much.
I wrote down the outro this week.
Oh,
So
good. All right. So I
yay.
won't we neither of us will have to do it from memory.
Yeah. Don't forget to follow us on our social media. We have a Twitter and an Instagram. They're both at SYTYI Podcast. You could also send us your movie stories or your movie requests at our email, sytyipodcast@gmail.com. Don't forget to share us with your friends and your family. Subscribe to us on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, anything you listen on, really.
There's so many platforms.
We also have a YouTube where you can listen to old episodes. I just put up the Tangled episode.
Oh, we had a special guest on that one, guys.
Next episode is Killer Sofa. Yay.
That
Can't
movie
wait.
still haunts me.
Can't wait to listen to that again. Don't forget to rate and review us on Apple Podcasts.
Yes, please.
Really helps us out, helps us get noticed. And don't
Notice me, senpai.
Also, okay, tomorrow is June 15th.
Oh, yes,
the
it is.
day I have not been looking forward to. It is the day that pretty much all of our restrictions in California go away. I'm scared. Very scared. So when you're in like public places, can you please continue to wear your mask? Please, I beg of you.
Yeah.
I beg of you, please. Yeah, and then continue to wash your hands.
Yeah.
Please. I've noticed that people have been slacking on that. Let's go back to washing our hands.
And honestly, it's not even like a pandemic thing. It's just
A human
health
thing
and cleanliness kind of thing.
General.
Like, yeah.
Did you hear that the flu is making a resurgence?
Really?
Yes.
I didn't know that.
People weren't getting the flu for over a year, and now people are going back to being nasty, and now the flu's coming back. Thanks.
Y'all, just wash your hands.
I hate
please.
it here.
Honestly, this sucks.
Ugh. Thank goodness the Olympics are coming up, because like my patriotism is at an all-time low right now.
Right.
So I need something to make me feel happy to be an American again.
And honestly, probably the only thing I'll really be paying attention to.
Gymnastics.
Yeah.
Gymnastics.
I mean, Simone Biles killed it in the last competition that she was in.
Gymnastics.
Did you watch that?
And somewhat swimming.
Right. Like, that's the only thing I'll really be cheering on. I'll watch everything else, especially like volleyball and stuff like that. But like, gymnastics.
I'm really only cheering for gymnastics.
The
other sports, I'll watch them.
Yeah, of course I'll watch them, but I don't know if I'll be rooting for America.
But at this point in time, we'll see.
Yeah, we
We'll
will.
see.
We will.
Yeah. Stay iconic.
Stay iconic, y'all.
Bye.
Bye.